Hi, everyone. My name is David McLeod, and I am your Life Mastery Coach and best-selling lead author of the new book, Gifts of Wisdom, Practices for Healing and Empowerment, which is now available for you to purchase on Amazon at the link below. Welcome to my chapter reading sessions for this book, in which you get to meet every author and listen in during a personal reading of that person's entire chapter from this wonderful and delightful little book. Today, my guest is Star Studonivic, wise contributor of chapter 21. Star is a Reiki master and certified yoga instructor with specific focus on primal movement, seated yoga, restorative yoga, and basic fundamental yoga. She also uses tuning forks, essential oils, and crystals to amplify the power of her sessions. Welcome, Star, and thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, you're most welcome, and I'm delighted to have you here. You know, I didn't have the pleasure of knowing you before we started this project, and I know we've had this conversation before, but for the purpose of the audience, I'm wondering if you could just help us understand a little bit about what it was about this project that attracted your attention and invited or called you in to participate.
In the first place, it was the way you presented it, and it seemed like a very worthy project because as we get older, sometimes we become invisible. And there's words from our hearts that can perhaps reach out and touch the hearts of the people reading it, and it's all about the heart connection. And that's what drew me. And in reading and getting to know the other authors, it was the same thing. Every single person moved from their heart and let their heart write the words for them.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, and you're right. I haven't used that word before, but you talk about people becoming invisible as they get older. And I think that's really true. I think part of the problem is in our society, particularly in Western society, we don't really honor our elders very well. There are cultures in this world where elders, right to the grandparent, the great grandparent, great grandparent generations are highly revered, and yet in our society, it's like, well, we can't get rid of them fast enough.
Feels that way sometimes.
Yeah, and so and so as a result, a lot of the elders in our society do become invisible. And so what I'm grateful for is that you and other authors in this group decided to do something to help bring visibility back into the public awareness.
Well, I'm thinking along with the visibility, these are different days and times, and you're finding that elders are much more fit, much more engaged with the world, and they really are part of society.
Yeah, that's very true. So let me ask you this then. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
We aren't in a rocking chair in a nursing home.
Yeah, and I don't plan to be very soon.
To ever be that.
Right.
I salute those who have no other choice.
Right.
But if I have any message to anyone who is aging, keep moving and don't stop moving.
That's right. Yeah, that's powerful. And so I'm curious, as you were, as we together moved along this journey of writing our chapters, obviously you had your own experience about what that was like for you. You know, yours experience is probably similar to some of the other authors, but I know it's unique in many ways as well. So share for the audience, would you please, a little bit about what it was that inspired you to write what you wrote? And you don't have to tell us the details of your chapter at this point. I mean, I know we're going to hear that soon enough. But what I'd like to hear is a little bit of the journey, the writing journey that you experienced.
It actually started with the ending first, because I knew what I wanted to give as a practice for connection and reaching people. Telling my story was a whole different thing. And what I wanted to do was go back to the very worst event in my entire life and explain what that felt like. Because I know other people are going through trauma and experiences that they don't ever want to repeat. And I want them to know they're not alone in that, and that you can get through it and you can create a much better future than what your past was. It required vulnerability and a lot of tears.
Sure. Yeah. Tears, the healing elixir of life. Yeah,
It matches seawater.
right, right. So you've set the stage beautifully and given us a kind of a little bit of an advanced taste of what we can expect. So what I'd like to ask you to do now is to read your chapter for the viewing audience. And so, my friends, would you please give your full attention to Star Studonivic as she reads chapter 21, When You're Shattered, Creating Wonder and Magic from the Pieces.
My story. On this day, I returned empty-handed from the hospital. I should have had the soft bundle of my already cherished child cradled in my welcoming arms. He died. So did my husband. And so did my life. Why am I left behind? And why am I still here? Embers softly illuminated the rim of my wineglass, a circle of light. Catching the rich garnet tones on the remaining wine, I swirled the glass and raised it to the heavens. Divine being, help me want to live because I don't. I want to die, go away, go to sleep, and never wake up. I can't do this. If you're there, help me, I beg you. My toast completed, I downed the remains, doubting that my pleas were heard. Replacing the glass on the polished table, I watched as the final sparks of a dying fire leapt upwards, only to be met with the resistance of gravity to plummet and die. My emotions matched their descent. Leaning into the comfort of a soft throw, I clutched it to my heart in sheer desperation. From the deepest primal part of my being, I witnessed my scream rip the air. No, no, I can't. There was a moment of silence, followed by the shattering of the wineglass. I watched as if I was a disembodied ghost as the shards scattered across the table, tumbling to the floor and the hearth, a discordant symphony. A gust of wind rattled the window. Still clutching the throw in my quest for comfort, I watched the frenzied dance of cotton candy snowflakes. Why are the freezing gusts moving the flakes through the window? They're creeping into my heart. I'm numb. I can't hear. As the chill continued through me, it spread like a deadly virus. I can't feel my heartbeat. Is this what it's like to have a frozen heart? Maybe my plea was heard. Am I dying? Eerie calm enveloped me. I watched the remaining pieces slide to their final resting place. Utter hopelessness consumed residence within. Nothing matters. Not anymore. Will it ever? Death, desertion, betrayal, and desperation wove into a tight bundle and settled in my stomach, not easily digested. The quicksand of despair strangled every breath. Shallow, timid breath seemed all I was deserving of. How little space can I occupy? How can I just simply disappear and not matter? I closed my eyes. Maybe I could just dissolve, go away, anywhere. Finally end this journey. Why am I still breathing? The window pane shivered. Moonlight dared to peer through the barren bush, barely visible in the darkness. Its feeble, thin branches made hesitant scratching sounds, coupled with intermittent gusts of wind. The branches were as bare as my soul. I was empty. The ancient grandfather clock chimed 9. Each chime spoke of doom. Another sound accompanied the chime. Why would somebody be ringing my doorbell this time of night, in the middle of a snowstorm? The doorbell chimed again, an annoying intrusion. Not bothering to turn on the light, I slowly walked towards the door. Who's there? I queried. No reply. Looking through the peephole revealed nothing. Curiosity overcame hesitation as I slowly opened the door. Unexpected bright moonlight shone a spotlight on a basket covered with a pink blanket. Oh my God, did somebody leave a baby on my doorstep? I panicked. There were no signs of anyone, none. A soft meow interrupted my panic. There was a packed bag beside the basket. The pink blanket moved aside, directed by a tiny gray paw. Big blue eyes peered into mine. Dumbfounded, I grabbed the basket and bag, quickly deposited both inside the entryway, and slammed the door behind me. Chilled and shaking, I knelt beside the basket. Blue eyes maintained their steady gaze as a gray-striped head emerged from the blanket. I reached for this tiny bundle and held it close to me. Thinking the pink blanket was indicative of this little one's sex, I wrapped her inside my bathrobe close to me. I was rewarded with a soft purr and a nuzzle. The warmth of a tiny kitten shattered me. Cradling this precious bundle, cradling this special bundle, I lay on the floor and I clutched her as if my life depended upon her, and I sobbed. The practice. Shards. Pieces of our lives. Sometimes they shatter into fragments that seem utterly impossible to reassemble. And they aren't. Each piece holds a lesson, an emotion, wisdom, a path, and a hope, and a dream. What's important is how you put the pieces together. What's the picture that you want, and how can you change it? Do you want to change it? Is it in your best interest to change it? Is it a mosaic set in stone, or in something softer, easily moved? Or are you a kaleidoscope? Beautiful pieces constantly shifting into intricate designs. All of us carry myriad possibilities, as many as there are stars in the sky. Life teaches us that the substance holding the pieces together are as important as the pieces themselves. Do you set your shards deeply into rigidity? Do you prefer a softer substance that allows for mobility? Do you embrace change, or do you resist it? Are your beliefs stiff and unyielding? Do your shards line up into straight, linear lines, or take a meandering path? What about the colors? Do they harmonize? What about the texture? What about the form? We're both artist and director. Your choices move the pieces of this magnificent work of art that is you. You can build a monument worthy of respect, or you can cover the pieces in mud. Watch them harden and crumble as you sit on a curb and pout. It's your choice. The art of you. The art of you is softening the edges of each piece, both joyous and sad, and placing them where they'll be the most powerful to guide you and others. You can change your picture at any time, refine it, sharpen the focus, or you can decide upon a completely different path, throw all the pieces into the air, and see where they land. All of these actions depend upon what you want to create. Each of us enters this earth with our own bag of shards. What we do with them and how we place them matters. We matter. Even if your life has been difficult, there is always room for hope, joy, and gratitude for the small things. Reach out, snatch those pieces, and place them carefully and gently within your heart. Be aware of how each piece shapes you, your emotions, and your beliefs. Challenge yourself to take the road less traveled. Inhale gently, take a breath, and risk forging an unknown path, trusting that you'll arrive at the destination best for you. No matter how terrible your circumstances, there's one clear fact. Your life will change, it can change, and you can make it happen. The soft pieces awaken your vulnerability, which is true strength. They allow you to be your best human. Permit yourself to feel every feeling. No fair, avoiding the ones that you don't like. Sometimes those are the pieces that make you learn the most. Life is a full range of experiences. Notice what you learn from all your pieces. So how? Where's the owner's manual and the instructions? That's where we listen to our dreams, hopes, and desires. Allow them to shape your artwork. No matter how lofty the dream is, it can come into fruition. The trick is belief. Believe in yourself and believe in something greater than you. Call it the divine. In those brief moments between sleep and wakefulness, theta brain waves are your connection to something greater. This something greater allows dreams to hold the possibility of manifestation. This magical slice of time reminds us of our connection to the divine, as well as the sliver of the divine within all of us. It's the secret of connection with all. After all, we're made from many, many things, elements, including stardust. We're not separate. We're part of everything and everyone in the entire universe. We're the ones who pull the veil of invisibility around us, acknowledging that sometimes it's a safe place to linger for a period of time. We're the ones who hide in the realm of separation. Sometimes throughout life, we feel separated from the divine or higher power, or whatever name you give your particular belief. In retrospect, it's us who create the separation and the isolation. We share this planet. We share and breathe the same air. Like it or not, there's not separation. And what are all these things? Air, earth, water. Many believe it's a manifestation of the divine, which nourishes in every way. We can refuse this nourishment, but eventually without nourishment, you die. There's death. Look around you and notice those who exist rather than live. A big difference. Existing is a slow death. Why not acknowledge what's causing your feelings of isolation, shine a light on the core issue or issues, and discover reconnection? So how do you do that? Pull yourself out of your thinking mind and place your hands gently on your heart. Sit quietly, preferably outside. Every beat of your heart is life. Every breath is connection. Don't think, feel, breathe. Place your feet, barefoot if possible, on the ground. There's firmness in this action. Stability, safety, and home. There's support. Stand up and feel the earth beneath you as you move. It's called grounding. It feels good. It's plugging yourself back into the circuitry of life. It's connecting you to your environment. This is where you live. Continue your walk. Touch a leaf. Your skin and nerves feel the texture. Your eyes see the shapes and the colors. What about your sense of smell? With your hand still gently upon the leaf, close your eyes. There's still a connection even though you can't see the leaf. Acknowledge what you can't see. Tune into what you feel and the deepest center of your being. Sometimes we shut our eyes to what's around us. It doesn't mean those things have gone. We've just shut our eyes. Everything is still there. It didn't leave you. You simply closed one of your senses. The art of your life is embracing each and every sense. Listen with your heart as well as your ears. Give yourself permission to be. The wind carries messages, and so does the smile of a baby. Allow yourself to be fully present and aware to and into yourself as well as the world around you. Pay attention. Nourish the connections. Engage and participate. Every moment is both precious and informative. We've been given this gift of life. Unwrap yours. Live it. You have an opportunity to live yours to your fullest. Choices again. Exist or live. Notice the small things. Notice those small things, the ones so minute they seem insignificant. Sometimes they create a tsunami of change within when they awaken your sense of wonder. Look as though through the eyes of a child, and be amazed at the beauty in which you're surrounded. Listen to the sounds, the pulse of life around you, and most importantly, within you. The feeling of air kissing your skin, the freshness of summer's rain. Inhale all the scents. Touch the earth, touch the water. Allow yourself to absorb wonder. Let those feelings permeate your being. Wiggle your barefoot toes in morning dew-kissed grass. Be fully present for each and every moment. Find your sense of play. When was the last time you skipped down the street or down the aisle of a grocery store? There's a muscle memory. Yes, it's a thing. You actually have brain cells throughout your body, not just in your brain. Trust that you will remember how to do this. Don't think about how it looks or what people might think. Who knows? They might feel your contagious joy and join you. At the very least, they'll smile. When was the last time you whistled to the tune playing in your head? And when was the last time you became a rock star in your car? Blast that music, sing out loud, at the top of your lungs, with passion and gusto. A very favorite memory of mine I'd like to share with you. My ancient but very well cared for, shiny 124 Spider convertible is at a dead stop in traffic. Top is down. Squinting as bright, warm sun tingles my skin, I gazed at the long snake of rush hour traffic. Exhaust fumes revved up to a crescendo in this dense traffic and settled in wafts of toxic air. My very favorite aria from Tosca, Visa d'Arte, I Live for Art, is playing loud enough to be heard for half a mile. It is competing with the reverberating sounds of hard rock several lanes to my left. I crank the volume. Opera versus rock. Rock has more bass, but I've got better speakers. They vibrate with Tosca's passionate words. Yes, I do live for art. Her words resonate within my soul as I match my voice to hers. Devoid of breath, as passion spent and the aria ends, I pause. Where's the applause coming from? I swear I heard it. Oh my God, it's the car next to me. They think it's me singing. Wow, I'm good. No, I'm great. For 3 minutes, I become Maria Callas, mustering a dignified nod of my head and acknowledgement of their appreciation. I stepped on the accelerator as the light turned green. Take another soft, nourishing breath all the way down to your soft belly bowl. Discard that veil of invisibility because you don't need it. Stand in your power and your humbleness. Tear down the wall of separation. It does not serve you. Acknowledge who and what you are and strip away the fear preventing you from being your very best masterpiece. You're meant to be here. You belong here. Everything you need is within. And trust me, you're enough. You can do this, will you? And as a reminder of how you place your shards, I'll leave you with this quote from Laura Jean Truman. Keep my anger from becoming meanness. Keep my sorrow from collapsing into self-pity. Keep my heart soft enough to keep beating. Keep my anger turned towards justice, not cruelty. Remind me that all of this, every bit of it, is for love. Keep me fiercely kind.
Thank you so much for that, Star. Very, very tender story. I could sense that there was a lot of pain there for you, and I'm really grateful and honored that you decided to share it here with the audience. I know that can be difficult, and but I think we all have experienced situations like that, perhaps not exactly the same, that have created that kind of emotion within us.
We have all had that kind of emotion.
Yeah.
One of the biggest lessons is to allow yourself to feel it and not stifle it. You prove that in your chapter, David.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. A big part of our challenge in this life is to just be. And what that means to me is to be all of me, not just to be what I think you want me to be.
Big lesson.
Right. The biggest challenge that I think we have is to break through the conditioning that is kind of, I don't want to say it's forced on us, but it certainly is placed upon us by our society, by our family, by our friends, and it may serve us to a small degree to help us to find our way to navigate through this world, but it doesn't really help us to become truly fully expressed, fully experienced beings. We have to work on that ourselves. And I really love that image.
Job.
Yeah, I love that image of you just singing with your heart out in the car. What a beautiful vision that was.
It tickled me. My voice isn't that good. I'm so glad they thought I was Maria Callas. That's a great memory.
Right. And I think, see, now that's part of the challenge, isn't it? Oh, I can't sing. I'm not very good. I can't draw. I can't write. All these I can'ts, how much of that do we embrace in our lives? We keep telling ourselves
Take out
this
the
story.
N apostrophe and the T and know that you can do it.
Right. I mean, I've come to realize that I can't has only one of two possible meanings. Either I don't know how, in which case I have the option to go and learn how, or I don't want to, in which case I can just release it. I don't have to even think about it.
And
but
you
to
don't
say I can't and let that be a trap that keeps me from fully expressing myself, that's just, to coin your own phrase, that's not even existing, but it's kind of accelerating your death.
Yeah. I mean, we're exposed to all of this stuff. It's all there for the taking and the feeling. Why not?
Right. Exactly. Right. Oh, so there's so much beautiful, amazing wisdom piled together into this book. Don't you agree?
Oh my gosh. I've been reading it and rereading it. In fact, I gave your chapter to my partner to read, Larry, and he was in tears because he said, David mirrored everything I did.
Wow, that touches me. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my hope is that we touch people and let them know it's okay to feel all these emotions, even the ones we consider crappy, because one thing is for sure, it will change. So do the whole thing.
Well, and I really love your image of the shards. That's what it is. It's, We have all these
It's
pieces.
infinite.
Yeah, and it may seem like they are shards of something broken, you know, but it isn't really shards of something broken. They are pieces of a masterpiece that you get to put together in whatever way you feel is right for you. I think that's a beautiful image.
Thank you. And it's one that so many of us have. You don't know how to put the pieces together, but you've got to trust in yourself
That's right.
that you really do know how.
Yeah. And I want to just remind people, you never know where your little baby pussycat's going to come from.
Oh, she was a wonder. And she lived to be 17 years old.
Yeah. That's right. You know, even when we're in our darkest place, sometimes the most beautiful gifts emerge.
Tiny, living, loving, tiny little kitten who was totally unafraid to be in this basket in a snowstorm in my entryway and have me reach for her. She never once shied away. I think she knew she was my medicine.
Yeah. And that's a good word. Maybe did that become her name? My medicine?
I called her Medici.
Oh, okay. Very good. Nice. So it was medicine in a way.
It was.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Star, for being here, and thank you for sharing your heart and your soul in such a beautiful and raw way. I feel just blessed to have had this experience with you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. You created a wonderful web of passion, of sharing, of stories, and you wove it into a book. Good job.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you very much. And so,
Thank you,
friends, here you have yet another amazing example of the fantastic and inspirational material that's available for you within the book, The Gifts of Wisdom. If you haven't already purchased a copy, or if you'd like to give one to one of your friends, you know, as Star was mentioning, you can maybe benefit someone else's life in a way you hadn't even thought of before. Just head over to our Amazon book page. And again, I've included the link on the screen below. Also, if you'd like to connect with Star Studonivic directly, you can reach out to her on her website at https://studonivic.com. That link is also on the screen here. You can easily reach out and connect with her. So thank you all for stopping by. I hope to see you again for some of the other videos in our series. And I wish you ongoing love, light, and blessings as you continue your journey. Bye-bye for now.